Hi, this is video 5 of 5 in our series all about FIX log parsers. Now, if you've jumped here so keen to get information on the FixSpec log parser, I don't blame you. It's a great log parser. But this series really will make more sense if you actually start at the beginning of the intro section up there, and then you follow through the various different episodes that we have. One other thing on the FixSpec log parser, we did say in the video that it's available for download right now. Actually, it isn't quite available just yet. It'll be coming out at the end of Q1 2021. If you are interested in getting some early feedback or early access to it, please drop us a line. We'll be happy to share it with you. Okay, and the last log parser that we're going to look at in this particular episode is the FixSpec log parser. Now, this is a very, very different proposition from some of the log parsers that we've seen early on in this video, mostly because of the delivery mechanism. So the FixSpec log parser is actually part of a desktop application that we have available on our website for free for anybody to download. You can either use the log parser either in your browser itself, so Firefox or Chrome or Edge or something like that, or you can download the native desktop application. Now, this uses a technology called Electron. It's exactly the same technology that some of your favorite apps like Postman or Slack or VS Code, they use Electron as well. So it's exactly the same logic. So it gives a really nice, rich user experience right there on the desktop for you. You can open it up straight from your taskbar and immediately go into the application. So it's very cool and a different way of delivering some of the great tools to you guys. Because this is an Electron application, we can also allow you to point to a specific log file because Electron apps have access to local log files if you want to. So if I click here and select log file, I can select a log file itself, which contains all of my log files. I don't have to get involved in the copy and paste. We can also drop those heartbeats at source. So if I click on this parsing, what it's actually going to do is it's going to go to that log file. It's the same one that I've showed you before, but now it's just picking it up from the log file, reading it and parsing it straight in here for me. So the other difference about this log parser is it's designed to allow you to be able to quickly parse the same log file against different types of specs. So you might want to parse it against perhaps a customized spec because our log parser can handle those things. You just load in a quick fix file and away you go. It'll parse it against that particular specification or against the standards. And changing those specifications is as simple as changing the tab along the top. As you see, as I move along this, actually there are some errors that start to appear or disappear based on the specification that I am choosing. So it's actually really cool. It's a really easy way of actually finding the information that you want and parsing it against various different things. Over here on the right hand side, there is a filter bar which allows me to filter on things like dates, comp IDs, and message types that we've observed inside of this log file. So it's really easy for me to come in and be able to filter things out, show exactly what's going on inside of this. You also have the ability to filter by time or use any sort of filtering in here that you might want. So maybe a tag equals value pair or use an asterisk as a wildcard to actually search on anything inside of there. So there's nice, powerful filter functionality available to you if you need it. Now, if I click on a specific message, what you see in the bottom half of the screen is a decoded version of exactly what that message is. So we'll show you, first of all, what the specific message itself is. So the description of the message, I can add some sort of filter to quickly filter down this entire log file down to that particular message if I really wanted to. I can also explore the structure of this particular message. So in here, you see we have the standard header, all of the fields within the standard header. We have a repeating group, which is shown in this nice nested structure over here, so we can actually interrogate that and understand exactly what's going on. We're decoding the tip field as well against their enumerations. So here we have our 22 equals 4, which is the ISIN number, so we're showing you exactly what that means. And if I click on that specific tag, over here on the right-hand side again, now you see the definition of that specific tag. So we can see ID source 22, we can see it's a data type of string, and we have the description of that particular field. If you don't want to see this kind of structured approach, sometimes there's a lot of clicking involved in that, and we understand that. You can either take the raw message here and simply copy that thing to the clipboard if you like, or do some sort of search to help you highlight various different things inside of this. Alternatively, you can just click over to this tab, which shows you a more conventional tabular view of exactly the same information. So you see all of the decoded values and all of the fields values that are in there. Now, one of the other things that we do inside of this decoder is we also allow you to, we also validate all of the messages for you. So if you look in this, this row here, you actually see that this message, we have decoded and identified the checksum is incorrect, and we've actually calculated the correct checksum for you. Now, this wasn't highlighted in any of the other parsers that we viewed in this episode, so it really is unique to FixSpec at this point in time. So we're looking at things like that. We're also finding messages with fields which are unknown. So in here, for example, you'll see that we're seeing the quote reject reason has an error with it, and some other items as well. And if I click on quote reject reason, you'll see here's the tag error. And again, something unique to this particular parser is we're trying to help you find the correct answer. So when we've found that tag 300 doesn't have a known value of 99 in this spec, what we've done is we've automatically searched other specs for you to try to find the correct answer for this. So we found that actually, for example, the FIX 5.0 has this particular field in the quote ACK message, and it's known as unknown symbol. That's the name of the enumeration corresponding to 99. And this import button over here kind of hints that you might be able to do something about that. And that's something else that's embedded in this tool itself, is the ability to create and edit and maintain specs directly from this sort of parsing logic. The idea being that you'll be able to take a log file, take a spec, and you'll be able to iteratively improve the spec's accuracy based on logs that you're actually pushing through this sort of system. Wherever you see an issue, we'll try to find the correct value for you and have a very simple button click like this to allow you to import it and adjust your spec accordingly, so that you don't have to keep re-editing things again and again and again. So that's the FixSpec tool. It's got a lot of differences compared to some of the other ones. The one other one that I just want to highlight just very briefly before we go, remember I started talking a little bit about the timestamp of the actual log file as opposed to timestamp within the messages. I mentioned that on some of the other parsers. Well, FixSpec is actually the only log parser that we actually reviewed where that was the case. So here, this very long timestamp over here, this is actually the one that came from the log file itself. And so this timestamp here, we know to be atomically correct. Every single message, inbound and outbound, is correctly sequenced in this log based on that log file timestamp, which is actually really, really useful for everybody to understand. Okay, that's our roundup of fixed log parsers. Hopefully you found this interesting and you've got a few ideas to take away and investigate. If your firm is using a different log parser out there that's worked particularly well for you, please drop us a comment. Let us know what you're using. If you have any questions generally about log parsers or anything else to do with Fix, or you have a suggestion for another episode, please again, drop us a comment in the box below. Otherwise, click subscribe and hopefully I'll see you next time in our series about how to do Fix differently.